I'll tell you a move that people, you know, when everyone tries to talk when they win the championship, like they're a genius. No, G2. Understand this, G2. You kicked Mikyx out of your team. You didn't want Mikyx in your org. You wanted Targamas instead of him. Right? That was your genius move. Now, just because he went over to XL, did well, and then it turned out through our circuitous means, and by the way, I can tell you right now, it wasn't until off-season he even knew it was possible he could go back to G2. That wasn't on the table initially. Mate, that is one of the craziest pickups they managed to get back themselves, because I agree with Monty. If you look over the whole year, I actually think Mikyx is the LEC player of the year. He's just the best player. Look at all the splits, look at all the metas, mate. This guy was just the best player in LEC. Like, and G2, they're lucky they got him back, mate. Like, the whole league is different if he's on a different team. Imagine if he was still on XL. Like, look, they wouldn't have been a good team, but G2 wouldn't be as fucking strong. Like, part of that bot lane definitely is the Mikyx factor. It's not just Hansama playing better.
I mean, Patrick Mikyx looked a lot better than Targamas Mikyx. Yep. We could say that. We literally saw them both play with the same guy. So, I mean, that's definitely huge for G2 to get Mickey back. And he is MVP of the year. If you look at every single split that he played, everyone else had some like off split. Like Hans didn't look right in portions of summer, in spring. You know, BB had like rough LEC at the beginning, then he had a good summer. Yike had a bad summer. Like Mickey was just consistently good the whole time. He had bad games here or there, but he was just like a beast in pretty much every meta. I mean, just think about how he started the year. He was playing Heimerdinger, like all these like really abusive lanes. Then he just completely swaps. By the end of the year, he's just on Braum, and he's just the best Braum. He figures out this Emax thing before anything else, and he just brings Braum back into the meta like single-handedly. It's huge.
The only thing is, though, right, this is another angle where I also do hate where in history, as you add championships, people just do that thing like, right, you're the best or whatever. Like, here's the thing, guys. If you thought Caps was the Western GOAT, then he was the Western GOAT before he won this title, and winning this title doesn't really change anything, does it? Because to me, look, Caps actually did get a bit better as like this split went on, but I actually also do sort of agree with the take that like the craziest thing about G2 is think about it, MSI. At MSI, you were supposed to say, Dom, the only chance for G2 is if Caps has a pop-off game. Actually, right now, he still does look like one of the players that's going to be like a mild liability when you go internationally. Like, he's certainly good. Look, it's not like he's bad fucking player. He's still one of the best mid laners, but he still isn't Caps for me. He's just become a different player now, mate.
Yeah, something looks off. I mean, it just, even the way that the finals started, right? You see the first play mid where Sejuani flashes on top of Abadage. Abadage flashes away, and then Caps E flashes and misses it. It feels like he would never miss that before, you know? It's like the guy, he would just hit that before. Like, or he just wouldn't go for it. It just feels like there's just weird mistakes that Caps makes that it didn't feel like he made before. Like, obviously he made it when he was in the Craps era, like Claps era. But when he was in that God mode 2019, 2020, it felt like he was playing well so often. And I mean, even game 3, he's getting solo killed as LeBlanc versus Azir. Still ends up being fine. He recovers the lane, like whatever. But like those mistakes just don't fly when you're playing against fucking Scout. That's the problem. Those mistakes aren't going to fly when you're playing against even Yagao, and they're not going to fly when you play against Knight. And that's who's coming up. So it's hard to like believe in G2 as, I mean, I think they could maybe make it into the round of 8 at Worlds. That's where I think that's like where I could see them realistically making it. I don't think they could make it to semifinals. I think it would have to be like miracle situation to make it to semifinals.
No, I'm with you. Like that's the other thing that's kind of sad about LEC. It's not just the teams, but like bear in mind, like I said, the main competition for Caps for real in mid lane probably is Larson, and Koi's irrelevant. Like, it actually means, like, that's why I gave you that angle on the Caps thing. Like, oh, he's won another title. It's like, this is one of the least important ones of the ones he's won, for fuck's sake, guys. Like, the other ones, it's like when we were talking about that Bjergsen double lift thing from last year or whatever. Like, Bjergsen used to be the best player every time they won, guys. That's why he was the GOAT, not number of titles. It's the fact that he was always the dominant reason why. Like, that used to be the case for Caps. Like, he used to be the stud. Whereas, like, to me, this is like one of the least important ones he's ever won based on his contribution. I mean, we just said the fucking support player was probably the best player. Then after that, what, like Hansama over the year, then probably like what, Broken playing. The joke is Caps might actually be 4th or 5th most important player on the team. I'm not even hating by saying that. Like, yeah, the rest of his team, by the way, the rest of his team's pretty fucking good now. Like, I haven't got to say this about the Yike guy. Bear in mind, now he's had the full 3 splits. Now he actually looks ready, mate. Now he actually looks like he could do some shit internationally. Like, he was a bit more green earlier and they were protecting him. Now he just plays proper jungle, mate. He just looks good.
Yeah. I mean, he had a pretty bad win a bracket final, I would say. First XL, I felt like he was like off in that series, but I think this final was solid from him. He played well the whole time, and G2 came into this final with so much more discipline than that winner bracket, which is what I was so triggered about before. Is I feel like G2 needs to look like they looked versus XL in this final to have a chance of being competitive. If they're having these like shit games where they're making just really weird mistakes, they're forcing all-ins with scaling champions, they're just going to lose. Like, you just don't get to do that versus better teams. You actually have to play the game properly. And in this final, they played properly. So I think that's a credit to G2. That gives you some hope in them being able to like rise to the level of better competition.
Here's the thing, Dom. I've actually now started to realize I'm sort of getting the streamer lifestyle now, because I saw for a second in Twitch chat someone say something, Dom, and I almost got one guide, but then I've actually overcome it and I was able to just like reframe mentally and continue on, because I saw someone in Twitch chat, Dom, actually said for real that Caps is better than BDD right now. Now, if people don't know, that take is so out of date. Like, that's about a 3-year-old out of date one. You're still thinking of 2020 World, you crazy.
Last year, maybe when BDD was on non-shim, maybe that could pass.
I'll give you, but if you don't know, BDD right now is very good again in the LCK. He's absolutely and if you look at the champions he plays,
two mid laners,
this is his fucking area, you idiots. Like, these are all his champions are in the meta. Like, right now, I don't care what anyone says, BDD would smoke Caps. Like, but you're not going to get me on that one. Here's the thing: you're not going to get me hot and irritated with your stupid comments and make
why
for
not?
me to be able to enjoy the experience that I have to put up with that, because metaphorically, I'm going to use the freeze pipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thoughts in that sense and I'm going to put them on freeze for a moment. A bit like if you have a freeze pipe, you can take the food safe glycerin chamber and then you can put it into that freezer section for about 1 hour, about the time it takes in this episode for me to idly check Twitch chat and then get one guide by someone. But I'm not going to get one guide by someone. I'm going to take out that freeze pipe chamber. It'll cool my smoke by over 200 degrees. Basically, like the 200 degrees of separation between you, parasocial losers, and me, your internet god, who gives you all this content through twitch.tv. Not even
only in a Thorin ad do you get insulted.
Exactly.
Like, as you're watching the ad, it's like he's trying to sell you some shit and he's flaming you. Like, what the fuck?
Here's the thing: if you want to actually support me, not just be some idiot in Twitch chat, then you could buy a freeze pipe with 10% off. Code LFN at thefreezepipe.com. You can also check out, if you want twice the power and the power of water, don't know, related that to Captain Planet or some Pokemon, Bulbasaur, whatever. Basically, you go and check out, actually, Squirtle. You go and check out, obviously, the twin turbine freeze pipe. That's a pretty good one. They can do it for everything. Dabs, oil rig, bobbler, bongs. They've got it all. Anyway, thanks to thefreezepipe.com. 10% off. Code LFN.
Fuck you, give us money. That's how we sum it up.
Yeah, that's basically my motto. Exactly.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Yeah. See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.